the most powerful interventions that any organization can do is coaching. There's a lot of research that has recently been done looking at how effective coaching is, and we have seen results as much as an 80% improvement. I've actually heard people say that the results can be much, much better than that, but frankly I think if all we got was 80%, that would be quite good. What matters in coaching? The most important thing in coaching is the effectiveness of the relationship between the coach and the client. Now, there are a number of things that can drive that. There is obviously how ready is that client to be coached? Some people may not be there yet. They may not have recognized that there's any value in coaching. There's no point in starting to coach somebody if they're not ready. We actually call that coaching readiness. And we will give you, from the facet data, a specific report that will highlight how ready that person is, and if they're not, why? What are the gaps in there? What do they need to do? This next thing that is important to drive this coaching relationship is the relationship between the coach and the client. Each coach has their own approach to doing things. They of course have their own personalities. Sometimes that personality matches very nicely with the client. Sometimes maybe it doesn't. Maybe they have different perspectives on the world. Now, highly skilled coaches can adapt themselves. They are very good at doing that. But what we have is a report that helps them do that. We call it an affinity report, which says, how does this coach match the client? Where are they different? What's their different attitudes, their different life approach? Because those things are important to know. The final thing is what we call spotlight, and that focuses very much on the client himself. And that looks at a range of different things. It talks about what's the client naturally good at? What just comes easily to them? What are the risks with them? Now, those two things are quite common. Everybody talks about the strengths and the risks or the benefits or whatever it is. Spotlight goes 2 steps further. We'll also talk about the frustrations for a person. What do I mean by that? If you are a particularly outgoing, enthusiastic, friendly, vibrant kind of person, you can be quite frustrated by someone who's very shy, very quiet, who keeps to themselves, who doesn't want to join in to your party. Now, that is a frustration. So if you are like that and you are dealing with someone who is much quieter, what do you do about it? Can you just ignore it? Well, no, to be honest, you can't just ignore it, because the reaction of somebody who is like that, a quiet person, will be just to walk away. So what that brings in, the last bit, is what we call the challenge. So you, as a loud, enthusiastic, outgoing person dealing with a quieter person, your challenge is to learn how to do that, how to give them a bit of space, how to not impose on them. Now, we do that across all of the factors of facet. Facet has 5 main factors and 13 sub-factors, and we go right across all of those. And we will show you where there are potential risks here and also what you can do about it. We break those into 5 areas. We talk about how to set goals and set objectives. What about involving yourself with other people? The sort of social aspects of it. What about attitude towards the work environment? Is it a people-oriented place or a task-oriented place? It's not that one is better than the other, but some environments work better that way. The 4th area that we talk about is discipline. That we've agreed what we want to do, but how are we going to do that? Do we follow through in a meticulous, carefully planned way, or do we tend to take things as they come? Both of those can work, but some work better in some organizations than others. The final one, and in many cases it can be the critical one, is how do we cope with stress, pressure that suddenly happens? What if it's a high risk environment? is the person aware of the risk? Are they the sort of person who automatically checks and double checks? Or are they the sort that is very, very happy with the way they are and the way the world is and are sure that it's all going to be okay? They're the ones that when something does go wrong, it's a huge surprise because they weren't expecting it. So Spotlight covers all of those types of issues, and it is designed using very easy to understand language that somebody can pick up, walk away, and in a few minutes have a look at the output and say, oh, I know what I want to work on. That's where Spotlight is specifically focused on coaching. You get a Spotlight report based on the client's personality. You get an affinity report based on the relationship between the client and the coach. And you get a coaching readiness report which tells you, is this the right time to start coaching that person? Put the whole package together and you've got a very good chance of forming a powerful, effective coaching relationship.